Hey Sagittarius, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing a reading for the month of January. Welcome to 2026. We are moving away from the snake era and going into the fire horse era. So we are now coming into light from all the darkness that has been the past year. And I want to say the past 9 years, I feel like a lot of heaviness and a lot of turmoil was the 9 past years that we've kind of lived. And the fire horse is now bringing in new beginnings, abundance, freedom, passion, the things that we've been like really dreaming of, and like that comfort and stability. So, if you've been going through the mud the past few years, just know that you are going to be blooming in this next era, and especially in 2026. So, a lot of cute, beautiful things are going to start to happen. Let's go ahead and jump into the reading. We will do past, present, and future. If this reading doesn't resonate, though, just leave for those that need to hear and come back for the next month's reading. It just might not be the message that was meant for you. Could be for the rest of the Sagittarius that are coming and watching this. But we are going to get the vibe right now of January. Let's go ahead and see what that is. Ooh, the Taylor, attention to detail, pride. A lot of beautiful things are popping up for the fire signs so far, which I love. I think right now you're nitpicking who or what is going to be in your life, especially in 2026. So there's a lot of like, I don't like this person. I don't like this situation. And I want it to be different. So you're nitpicking your attention to detail. And I think you finally realize like your worth right now. So 2026 is really nitpicking who or what enters your life. And this is beautiful imagery that I'm going to like kind of point out. You see how there's like some hand and the string and scissors. You're kind of weaving your own new picture and what you want to be a part of your image. So like say like you have a garment and you're stitching it together, what needs to come together, and then the rest is cut out. Right. So snip snip, that's what I'm feeling. That's energy I'm getting. So I do get a sense of a lot of people kind of now being not a part of your life, whether it be friendships, family members, relationships, personal relationships, work relationships. There's a sense of cutting out, like weeding out like people that aren't meant for you. And I have to stop saying the word like. I don't know why I say that a lot. My English teacher would be severely disappointed. But let's go ahead, see what's going on past, present, and future. Just remember, whatever you see in the present is what's going to lead in the future. So if you don't like what is happening in the future, you've got to change what's going on in your present. It's what you're aligned with. So your future is just going to be alignment with what you are physically going through now. And a lot of that we can change. I feel like that's personally how I believe. We have moving pieces. In the middle of our lives that we have full control over. And if we want to align with something better, we have to change our energy and change our outlook and things that we're doing and make a move for that to change, right? The future to change. So let's go ahead and see what's happened in the past. So we have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Five of Pentacles. Oh yeah, Pentacles. Sorry, I did say that. Okay. And the Four of Wands. I don't know if you can see that well. So the past, I feel like you guys have built yourself up to some kind of point in your life where you have stability, especially emotionally, internally, and you nurtured that for yourself, and maybe you've nurtured that for other people. And I get a sense it's because you have kind of gotten out of a very, very tough scenario of maybe like loss of not having much. I don't know why I'm getting a pull for a lot of you guys emotionally. There have been a struggle, whether it be with friendships, whether it be your partner, and maybe you guys broke up in the past. But it seems like you have pulled away from past relationships because they were just so toxic and have left you emotionally barren. It feels like you weren't receiving much at all. And this is like the rags to riches, like you're moving away, like this is the rags era. Like you were getting like bits and pieces of love, of attention, of care. And it could be work things, like you weren't getting enough attention at work to show like, hi, I worked so hard, why don't you care? I did this. And like nobody was noticing all the work and effort that you put in. And I think that I feel like a lot of you guys have dealing with like friendship situations. I don't know why. Again, it doesn't have to be because there's a lot of Sagittarius coming and looking, but there is a sense of loss within like a friendship. And like you had to realize, like, I'm worthy, I am a good person, I do have a lot to offer. This isn't, a reflection, like them treating you a certain way isn't a reflection of who you are. And so there was some kind of like hardship within that. And it could be a relationship, work, whatever, just place it where it makes the most sense in your life. But there's a celebration within that. And I feel like you have ended up in a situation where you found your people and they were different from what you had years ago. So, like, again, snip, snip, like the attention to detail, the pride, attention to detail in like your life specifically. So, the era that you're entering now is like, I don't know why. Let me go back to this past reading. I'm getting a sense that there was a moment, and I don't know why I'm getting this. I'm just gonna say it's like it almost feels like a party or like a get together where you looked around the room. Maybe you guys went on a trip. Like there was some kind of event where you looked around the room and you see the new people that are surrounding you, and you're just like, I am so grateful that I met these people. And they might not be like every person is comes to your life for a reason, for a season or whatever. And I think like if they might not be there forever, but right now, that moment when you looked at them, you were just like, I am so grateful for them. I can't like believe how much has changed and that I never experienced this type of love from my past situation. If that makes sense. So there is a sense of like stability for being stability within that, like grounding, everything just feels right. That was your past, which is beautiful, but let's see what's going on in the present. I don't know. So there's the five of wands, the 10 of swords in reverse, and the emperor in reverse. And it's just, I don't know why this is coming up, but it does feel like past relationships are almost still like rearing their head, which is why in the present you're kind of still weeding out these people. I feel like five is conflict. I feel like there is some kind of conflict between either a group of person, a single person, maybe it's family, whatever that case may be, but you're not letting the cycle end. I feel like the 10 of swords for me is a delay in something ending. Like the cycle is trying to end, it's been end. You've been stabbed in the back more times than you care for, and you're not letting it go. And you're still like either in communication or contact with them, and you're trying to play nice, but there's no reason for it because they just treat you like garbage. And it's hard for you to kind of walk away, it feels like. And I feel like there's a sense of bullying with the Emperor in reverse. This is like upright is someone very strong, but reverse it feels like bullying. It feels like someone who is using their power for like with bad intentions. So it just feels like they're very pushy, they're very arrogant, they just feel like they know better and they're talking down to you. So whatever the situation is, like you are seeing it, but you're still not letting it end. And this was like a kind of this reading being here in the present is like, look, like you need to hear this. We're going to see what happens in the future. But if you are hearing this and you don't like this, like this needs to change. So this needs to be upright in order for that to be like it's over, it's done, but it's not. It's in reverse. There's some kind of delay that you're not letting go of. So if that resonates, definitely leave a comment so people can be like, yeah, you know what? I'm not alone. Like, I get it, guys. We're in it together, right? We're going to build a community around this. So what? This is now the future, right? So we have the five of swords, okay? So another five, and then we have the two of swords and three of cups. It's gonna be tough, right? I do get a sense that you guys are realizing the fact that you are, you're needing to weed out these people, right? So five of wands here, and then the five of swords. So this is the past and this is the present, okay? Sorry. This is the present and this is the future. The swords. So here we're having a conflict with people, like there's back and forth, who's right, that kind of a thing. It just seems very like argumentative, not a good feeling. There's always fighting about something and just that feeling of ickiness. And then this is like walking away with no one really winning. And I think that's the one thing I want to say. Like, there's no right or wrong. Like, you can't prove to someone that, like, and you might be in the right, right? You very well might be in the right. But there's no point in trying to prove that because everyone has their own story. They're going to paint you as a villain no matter what. And you can try to defend yourself and make yourself look like the good person, but doesn't matter. Like, let them paint you as a villain because you continuing that conversation is continuing them in keeping them in your life. And so this is coming to a point where nobody wins. It's kind of just like I walk away. And with the Two of Wands, it's making me feel like there was a tough decision to kind of have to break away from that. And I mean, like, there's a road. You can continue down this path, or you can take a different road and just be on your own. And I see you kind of walking away completely because I do get a sense of celebration here. I see you being with other people. I see there being happiness and stuff, but without them or without that situation, without that job, without that project, without that person, friend, significant other. I see that there has to be a sense of walking away and kind of like seeing them for who they are, because I don't think that you give them such a benefit of the doubt because there's some kind of past in history, but like you need to take that blindfold off in order to like realize like, yeah, I have to walk away. So that's the reason why you're probably still holding on to them, because you're seeing them with rose colored glasses, and that's tough. And I'm here telling you, like, look, seeing this in the present, you don't like the vibe, you don't like the energy, you can change the future, but it does feel like to me that you do see this. Again, attention to detail, pride, you know how your worth. You're going to cut out the toxicity. So this month, that is your goal. That is your whole thing, is kind of filtering who belongs in your future. Because then your future is going to be pivoting. And I do see celebration. I do see get togethers. I see like gossip. I see drinking. I see that like partying, happiness, like just letting, because like that energy is like that beautiful energy of just like, ah, like, okay, like let them figure their own life out. I'm not here for that anymore. And as much as that feels like it's hard now, like you don't care about them in the future. You don't. So if that helps in some way, great. And definitely leave a comment. Like I said, if this message did resonate, like and subscribe so you don't miss another one. I am going to be not publishing, posting books on these two websites. So I'll post at some point about it's a romance fantasy, but and sci-fi, but it has a storyline about what energy is and all that stuff, and like spiritually what everything means, and it's like the experience of a girl that's like plopped somewhere new. So it and I like appreciate you guys for supporting me in this, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that venture and give me some feedback so I can kind of like keep moving forward with that, because that's my new baby. I'm so passionate about it, and I'm like obsessed with it because I love kind of sharing that like idea of energy and how it affects us and how we're all connected and all that. So kind of put that into a fun little story novel. Planning on writing 5 books and probably more spin-offs. So if you guys, like I said, this resonated, if you guys want to check in on that, leave a comment and I'll at some point post that. But thank you guys for coming back, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.